We continue with Red Hood and the Outlaws number 15, where a woman has just OD'd, and Detective Bullock and a bunch of other cops are there to arrest Jason Todd for some reason. He monologues about how her situation is the result of the Joker's threat, and that he knows their secret identities, and if you're lost because you have no idea who this woman is, or what exactly happened to her, or how the Joker might be related to any of this, congratulations! You're just as confused as the comic wants you to be. How bad is your story when the only thing consistent about it is how inconsistent it is? He gets dressed off panel, and takes Bullock's cruiser to warn the Bat family about the Joker as if he actually knows something that they don't, but the Joker just happens to be in the back seat and gasses him.
Well, let's face it, this guy operates on unbelievable luck and coincidence.
Yep.
We then cut to Starfire and Roy Harper for no other reason than to remind us that she's a slut. Next scene! Jason wakes up in a sewer, or a bunker or something, where the Joker has recreated scenes from his past, implying that he was there every step of the way, ever since childhood. Jason doesn't buy it, and I'm inclined to agree with him. Joker habitually harbors a grudge for Batman's allies, sure, but why would he be interested in this kid before he even met Batman? Joker drops Jason into another room where Tim Drake is being held. We then cut to Roy and Starfire again, as they follow up on some Joker-related trouble that they heard about, leading into the end of Teen Titans number 15. Subsequently, Teen Titans number 15 begins with a splash page of Batgirl showing off how flexible she is. Glad to see she has her priorities in the right order in the wake of her mother being horribly tortured. And par for the course, no explanation of what she's doing here or where this fits in with the rest of the story. She's following up on a distress call that Tim sent, but Kid Flash says that it was actually him who sent it, and they need Batgirl to help find Tim, who disappeared completely off panel. We then cut to Tim as he wakes up in the unknown place where we found him back in Red Hood number 15, and the Joker explains his plan again while wearing his glider cape, which Tim was still wearing at the end of Red Hood number 15 when Jason crashed the party.
Continuity! Boom.
Batgirl sends the Teen Titans to Joker's old crime scenes to see if he's reenacting any of them there. They find nothing, but while this is going on, Joker reveals to Tim that all of Kid Flash's running here and there is actually kicking up poison dust that he littered around the city. And how did he do this without the dust already affecting its victims as it was being laid? And wouldn't you know it, Kid Flash and this other Titan, Solstice, is being attacked by Jokerized hobos, all of whom the Titans are afraid of hurting if they try to escape. Wait, what's this? Check out Birds of Prey number 15 for what's happened. No! And this comic ends right where Red Hood number 15 ends, leading right into Red Hood number 16. While they're fighting the Jokerized hobos, you just used Jokerized in a sentence? Seriously? What the hell would you call them? Anyway, while they're fighting the hobos, Roy uses his mobile crime lab to detect what's in their blood, and he finds a warehouse that contains the chemicals needed to counteract the effects. Kid Flash goes with Solstice, Wonder Girl, and Starfire to retrieve them, but the Joker rigged the chemicals to explode if anyone came near them. But Kid Flash manages to save the chemicals and the girls from the explosion. And now all I can do is think back to this scene from Justice League: A New Frontier.
If you so much as touch me, you'll trigger 6 cryogenic bombs I've hidden around the city. And they'll go off in 90 seconds anyway. Unless you find them. 89, 88... 1, 2, 3, 4... 5... There's 6!
If the Flash can run all over Las Vegas and successfully find 5 bombs no bigger than a peach, what's stopping Kid Flash from just running around all over Gotham and looking in every single room in every single building until he finds the Joker? Luckily, the Joker had all these chemicals all ready for use, and Kid Flash gives it to all the hobos, curing them of their Jokerization. So that comic did a lot, right? Teen Titans number 16 opens with Jason and Tim knocked out, and looking like they're about to do the Spider-Man kiss. And Jason's wearing a different hood, and Tim's got his glider cape back. I'd make another joke about the story's total disregard for continuity, but I already know I've beaten that dead horse for so long that there's nothing left but a pile of horsey goop. Joker reveals that he has their fathers, and the only way to save them both is for Jason and Tim to try to kill each other. Tim refuses, but since Jason's a colossal dick, he immediately pulls a gun on Tim. Wait a minute, I thought their fathers were dead! So they fight for a bit, but then Jason shoots the Joker. And why didn't he just do that in the first place? But as it turns out, the Joker actually left during the fight and put a gas-filled Joker dummy in its place, which knocks them out and he takes them to where he's been taking the rest of Batman's family. If you were just gonna do that anyway, why even bother with all this nonsense regarding their fathers? Nightwing number 15 starts with the Joker killing one of Haley Circus's new clowns because... I don't know, he thinks he looks like him, and apparently nobody likes a knockoff. You know, Mr. J, if you're going to kill every clown simply because you think they're a knockoff of you, you're in for a really long night. Also, we're left to assume that this note left on the poor clown is pointing out how Joker thinks that Nightwing is a cheap imitation of Batman. Agree or disagree with that assertion all you want, but it's not a good idea to call out Nightwing for ripping off Batman when you're the one ripping off Leatherface! Dick tells the rest of his old circus friends to pack things up and get out of town for their safety. One of them asks about Raya, whom the Joker broke out of prison. Yeah, remember Raya? That girl we knew nothing about, but Nightwing apparently already dealt with several issues ago in Batman number 15? Spoiler alert! Nightwing finds some jet fuel in the clown's body, and after a pointless scene of him making out with Tony Zuko's daughter... What? He decides to scope out an old aerospace warehouse where he thinks the jet fuel came from. And he finds Raya inside, Jokerized, and trying to kill him. Yes, you can really see how the Joker hates knockoffs who keep you from killing people when you could be the one killing people yourself. But she collapses from the Joker toxin, and Nightwing is helpless to keep her from dying. It's 10 minutes before I look up. Before I stop. Before she's gone. Yeah, because it's not like you could call for an ambulance or something during the last 10 minutes. That'd just be silly! He then finds a message carved into her stomach, telling Nightwing to go to Amusement Mile. Hopefully the Penguin still has a few bombs under Amusement Mile and he can just blow up the whole thing so he can just be done with all this crap. And again, I have to ask why any of this took place. What was the point of any of this when the Joker could have just written this invitation on the clown he just killed? Nightwing number 16 shows Nightwing looking for the Joker in the circus while Joker rambles on over the PA system. He goes into the main arena, where the Joker has allegedly dug up all of the circus's former members. Good lord, there's suspension of disbelief, but this is just asking too much. Even with all the time that the Joker's had, how did he dig up everyone who ever performed in Halley's Circus? Even if he could track down everyone who worked in a traveling circus for the last 30 years and figure out where they were all buried, someone would have spotted him doing it. And by the way, this can't be every member of Halley's Circus, since the last really big Batman story established that the circus was where the Court of Owls got most of its assassins. And I'm gonna have a little bit of a hard time believing that a society as secretive as them would give their fallen members traditional burials in public cemeteries instead of locking them away in their own private facilities. Anyway, Joker just blows the place up, and he and Nightwing both survive the explosion. You wanna know how they survived the explosion? Do you really want to know how they survived the explosion? Well, if you think that this comic is going to give us any kind of satisfactory answer to that question, then you need to tell me what you're on, because I could use some of it. Nightwing starts to pummel the Joker so hard that he even loses a tooth, which, by the way, magically reappears in the next issue. Shocker. But then it's revealed that he's Jokerized all of the circus's surviving members. You might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, didn't these people get out of town? And even the Joker anticipates your asking of this question. And what's his explanation? Only one word. Surprise! You know, DC, it's bad enough when readers find plot holes on their own, but when you actually take the time to point out the plot holes yourself, maybe you could actually give them a little something more, like, oh, I don't know, try explaining to them what's actually happening! So all the Jokerized carnies gang up on Nightwing, and the Joker even hands a spiked iron mallet to one of them, and she smashes it over Nightwing's head. And of course Nightwing's skull is left completely intact, because that makes sense, doesn't it? And the Joker once again wakes him up in a dark void, presenting him with a bloody silver platter. Death of the family to be concluded in Batman number 17.